So the story started right out here. This is the cemetery of the church where I grew up, and let's see if you can see if we can get a good shot here. You know, like I say in the book Amazing Grace, there's a whole line of headstones with her name on it. Well, that's real because this is the front line of the cemetery in Woodlawn where I grew up, and this is a line of people with my name on it. Right here is my cousin Marion and my Uncle Luther and Aunt Julia. Uncle Erskine didn't get a headstone, but he's got a little plate there. This is my pop and my grandmother, both of whom passed before I was born. Down here is Uncle Scott and Aunt Lucille. And here we get to my family's plot. This is my mom's headstone. And this is space for, my parents got 3 plots next to them, and that's for my 3 siblings because they bought these a long time before I was around. And that's where my dad will end up. So I was walking through this cemetery one day. I was visiting my brother and visiting my Uncle Ed, and just kind of walking around, feeling the vibe. You know, it's a pretty cemetery for a big cemetery for a big old Southern church, and it's right here on the main, what passes for the main street in Sharon. This house over here, I have no idea who lives there, but in my head, that's Lila Grace's house. It looks like that to me in my head. Like I said, I've got no idea who lives there. I haven't lived here in Sharon for 20 years, but it's still home. You know, this is, so I was walking through here like I'm doing now, except without a video camera, just kind of walking along visiting. You know, these are people I grew up going to church with and people I knew my whole life, and I was here visiting Bo and Henny Mickle and my brother Billy Wayne and my Uncle Ed, and a line came to my head, and it felt like the ghosts of my ancestors were walking with me or were around me. And then I was talking to my family, because like I've said more than once, all Southern people talk to dead people. That's not even a question. The only thing that makes Lila Grace particularly unique is that with her, they talk back. So I wrote a lot of people I know into that book. I used a lot of names, a lot of names, and I put a lot of folk that I grew up seeing in that church every Sunday into the book. They're not the real people, of course, but it's just names and ways to honor some of the folks that I knew as a kid, and some folks that had an impact on my life, and that kind of stuff. That's kind of where a lot of that book came from, and it's set